Right, so what I'm going to talk about today is enterprise safe? Are we safe with enterprise? Is it the right way to go in the future to do everything with the model of an enterprise system that runs the whole product of our lives? Everything we do, everything we buy, everything we see, everything we sleep, everything we dream. Do you want enterprise to run that? And I'm going to argue it two ways. I'm going to look at it in the way that yes, enterprise is definitely a thing of the future, definitely something we need to do, and should be integrated in every part of our lives. And secondly to that, I'm going to juxtapose that. I'm going to look at the opposition argument on this one and try and see it from someone else's point of view who would see that enterprise is actually pulling them down into the mire of mediocrity. It is making people take decisions based on consumerism, which, if you were Jesus Christ, you wouldn't want to have too many possessions. Look at Elon Musk. He's doing well. He's giving up his world possessions, the second richest man in the world. It's not hypocrisy doing that. That's great. But anyway, let's argue it from that side first, actually. Let's look at it from that side first. So we're going to look at enterprise from the aspect of someone who believes that it's dragging them down into the mire of mediocrity. It's making them small person. They're now so small because enterprise is so big. They can't see that we're all on the same level and we're all humans anyway. We are humans because we all see each other working. We see each other on TV. And to be on TV, you have to exist as a human being. You can't just be some escalated form of AI that marches up the ladder and moves to the top. So, really, what I'm saying is, if we're humans, and we're all humans and we're all on the same level when we're born, then it's what you put yourself through. It's what you test yourself with. It's what you're prepared to go through to make yourself become something. And for the people who do not understand why enterprise is the best way of making the future happen, all they have to do is look at the people at the top and say, what did I do when I was 9? And what did they do when they were 9? And you'll look at yourself and you'll say, he's the guy in class that was doing this, that, and the other. And I was the guy in the class that was doing this. And you'll look at that and you say, well, that could have been me. I could have been doing that. Or he could have been doing what I did. It wouldn't make any difference. We're all friends in the class. We all did this, that, and the other. Whatever. At the age of 9, there's not too much rivalry. There's not too much animosity between friends. Boys hate girls. It's all normal. But then when you look at the reality of what's going on in their brains at that level, what sort of level are they on? And why are you always trying to pull them down at that level? Why do you want to bring them down? And if you do bring them down, do you think they're not going to get up and fight? Because enterprise is for people who build themselves from bad experiences. People who do well in enterprise are people who've done badly, dipped out in life at a certain level, had bad experiences, and rebounded so resoundingly that they have taken strength from that and come back fighting on all cylinders. Whether this is self-inflicted, you've chosen self-sacrifice, you've chosen a journey into a difficult reality that means you're going to flounder for a bit and be mocked and be persecuted. We put hardship upon ourselves by taking it onto ourselves because we want to have a hard experience. We want to have the best results. We want we inflict pain upon ourselves. We like pain. We grow in pain. What do you do if you're one of these people who sits around complaining about people getting on, about complaining about the government? What are you actually doing to produce something, your version of events? How did you come up with that idea in the first place? And was it seeded as your own idea? And if it was, are you just not doing enough to make that fruit grow, to make that plant grow into a crop? Because at the bottom line, there are people in this world who do nothing. They come up with ideas and they do nothing about making them grow. Everyone has an idea. Everyone is born with an idea that is original. Okay? But there are people in this world who will not get up out of bed when they have a thought going around in their head. You know, they won't get out of bed, they won't act on it, they won't start the work to make it go into process. They'll just let that thought revolve around their head, and soon it becomes common knowledge because the universal brain will always understand what is going on in people's heads, and there will be someone who will, that thought will become theirs because this person is not doing enough with it. They're sitting on it and they're stagnating on it. You've got to get up, you've got to go out, and you've got to make things happen. You know, is enterprise at fault? Not at all. Enterprise is driving the whole process up. It's capitalist society, okay? It's driving people up to achieve things on their own, to prosper on their own, to fight their own battles, not to complain about the system, not to sit there and dig their heels in because something didn't go right for them. Get out of yourselves. Fight on. You know, you will have barriers in your way. You'll have people putting barriers to stop you moving to the next level. Of course, everybody does. You know, I've had so many barriers and I've thanked every single barrier that's been in my way. In fact, I've got to the level where I want to promote people into my business who have been the biggest barriers, you know, the real flaws, the real serpents in the system, because I believe they have absolutely forced me to make myself a success at what I do. Now, you may not think what I do is a success. That's up to you. But in the eyes of the many, not the few, what I'm doing is right. Okay, and what you're doing is right and it feels right, then you can be a success. And I believe I have made a success of my life, even though I'm not monetary rich at this level. Okay, so making yourself into somebody. In enterprise, we do so many things. We make things happen, we bond with each other, we come up with ideas together because we have reached a level of seniority where we access each other's thoughts and ideas and can reciprocate the best things to each other through enabling each other to have a share in what we're offering. That's how business works. It's an agreement. It's a system that works together. And people say the system's rigged, it works against the populace, the people. It's because they're not getting up and becoming a cog in the machine to begin with. That is its own agenda, that has its own idea, that can make its own things happen. Its own ideas come to light and be seen and noticed by other people. People who might be high ranking, they might have more opportunity, they might have more money, they might have more ideas, they might have a better facility of making ideas happen, which is what I happen to do. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm making money from other people. But when people start coming to me and saying, I'm putting money into what you're doing because it's making me build my business and turn it into something that is now escalated from augmented. We are no longer augmented. We are escalating the process to growing. The sky's the limit. We've broken the cap. We've broken the ceiling and we are breaking through into the legal organizational direction, which is much, much more than can be possibly fathomed. The universe is ours to colonize. You know, there's so much more to do. We don't just want people sitting around being layabouts, playing video games and complaining about what is going on in the world. Yes, you've got to have your leisure. Yes, you've got to enjoy your pursuits. Yes, you've got to get out there and meet people and enjoy society and visit the pubs and go to the restaurants and go to the theatre and go to the cinema and do all those things. But at the same time, that should not be your reason to live. That is your reward. You take those things as a reward for a day of hard work or for a week of hard work or for a month of hard work. And then you have your holiday. Then you go and watch your film. Then you go and play your video game. Okay? And complaining is pointless. Do something about it. Make your society into something else. Now, on the other side of the foot, on the other shoe, if you like, on the other foot, what we're going to view is that people have a certain prejudice in society. Okay? They are prejudiced against you. They are looking at you and they're thinking, this guy will never do it. Because they see themselves in you. But you don't know that. So you sit there looking at them and you think, yeah, you either take it or you get up and fight. Now, if you're a fighter, that makes you into somebody who can do business. anyone can. Anyone can build up their IQ. My IQ started when I first had my IQ managed. I just got into grammar school. I was 111. If I was going to go to grammar school, I would have got 111. Okay? But my IQ went through various changes. I then went through a whole mind changing process, which is I'm not going to elaborate on here. I strengthened myself, I rehabilitated myself, and I took a couple of IQ tests in the mid-range, and I failed at them spectacularly. I probably didn't get above my original IQ, probably got less. My IQ now is a high enough level. It's up to the level of about 131, having been 111 when I was at school. Now, my IQ escalated because I got the work ethic, I got drive. And not only did my IQ escalate, okay, I could have made it higher than that. I could be maybe 150 or 160, but I failed the last section because I didn't revise the subject. So with the knowledge of doing maths and all the things that come with maths and maybe verbal reasoning, you can do a few things with that as well. You take a Mensa test. If I'd done the maths section correctly, I failed on all the percentages because I forgot to subtract the final total, the final sum from the total. That's all I did. I made the mistake all the way through. It's a common question with 8 related questions, whatever. It made up. So that was my mistake. So all you have to do is a little bit of going back to your GCSE maths, your GCSE English, brush up on a few things, escalate yourself, become intelligent to the core, rebuild yourself, you know. Don't just sit there not fighting, not working, lying in bed, letting a thought going around your head. You know, you lie in bed, the thought goes around your head, and then someone's got the enterprise themselves. You didn't make it happen. It's now their idea. It's not your idea that became someone else. Hey, that was my idea. It's their idea right from the start because they got up, it came to their head, and they did something about it, and they made it their own. Possess what is yours. Take what's in front of you that is yours. Build it and turn it into something big because you can make huge things happen. And we can make collectively, if everyone was doing the same thing, if everyone was an entrepreneur and everyone shared the universe, there would be enough resources for everyone to be as wealthy as they possibly could be without a problem. But all people want to do is divide, take political sides, try and explain the system to each other through complaining about the other side when the other person is on the other side. They don't try and get on having common consensus that just says forget about the politics, forget about the media, forget about what you see on television. Just speak to me mano a mano, explain to me what you really think. And then we could start to think tank ideas, we could start to generate a new evolution in society where we could build up and get people coming up with their own mini enterprises. And from a mini enterprise, like Jeff Bezos says, things start small. They grow big. They grow big. All great things start small. You can grow anything big if you put enough energy, determination, hard work, and you get the attention you deserve from the people who are looking at you and seeing themselves in you at the level when they are saying you're not going to get there, because they're doing that. So you drive, you fight, you get up, and you prove everyone wrong. Don't prove everyone right. Don't be a loser. Prove to yourself, first of all, that you are better than the average, and the average will rise, and everyone will get to the level where they have something to claim.